groceries I need, and drive back home, and sure enough, walk in the door. Hey, babe, what's happening? Oh well, broke the windshield. She's like, "What are you talking about? It's just glass crap on me. I gotta go take a shower and put these clothes downstairs." So once again, a wonderful week, an exciting week has been had by me. Had a little PTSD kick in, fell out of an apple tree. Oh, it was
See,
beautiful, man.
and see now the beauty of that story is that now we all know if we are going to snipe you, wait until a truck goes by. If the first shot misses, pshing, oh, grr, okay,
It was just a truck,
just a truck and a rock.
and then you'll get me. Yep. Just wait a minute.
Yep.
So what about you, Matt? How was your week?
I actually had a pretty good week. I mean, over the weekend, I went and saw School of Rock over at the Wharton Center. I know everybody knows or thinks that I hate children, but that show was awesome, and the kids were actually really good. I mean, they did an announcement right before the show. Well, if anybody doesn't know this plot of School of Rock, it's based off the movie, obviously, where this loser dude who used to be in a band gets kicked out of his band, and he lives like at his buddy's house, and his girlfriend's trying to kick him out because he never pays rent. So he's like, you know what? I'll use my buddy's name because he's a notorious substitute teacher. I'll apply at this school. And then when he gets there, the kids are like really talented, at like music class. So it's like, I know, we'll make a band with these kids. We'll teach them all about rock and roll. We'll enter the battle of the bands. I'll make all this money. It'll be great. So I won't tell you how the story goes or anything, but so they do an announcement right before the musical starts, and they say, "Hey, the question we always get is, do these kids actually play the instruments?" And the answer is, damn right they do. And these kids were badass. Drumming, keyboards, bass, guitar, they were rocking it out. Pretty good actors too, and good singers. So, I mean, that was a great show. I really enjoyed it. So if it's coming to your town, make sure you go see it. Make sure you give those kids some applause and some love because they were actually really good. And then the very next day, I went and saw Silent Sky at the Williamston Theater. That was also really fantastic. Another one of those plays kind of based on actual people. This one was all about, I have to use quote fingers here because people think of computers as the device. This was about a group of female computers, like in the 1920s at Harvard, who were identifying stars and classifying them. So that was really cool to, kind of see the kind of stuff that they did and kind of hear that whole story. And then the actual story of the characters was actually really good too. So, I mean, really good job. They never have, I've never not enjoyed a show that I go to at the Williamston Theater. They always have good actors, great production. I really like this was another one where they had some set dressing around, on the stage, but then they also had like a big projection screen kind of behind it that would show like if they were at Harvard, it would kind of be like a view out a window of a building on the campus. If they were, a character goes on a cruise, like a little railing came up from the side of the stage that they stood behind and they projected like a smokestack and stars and stuff. It was really cool, really a lot of fun, good production, good acting, good everything. Williamston Theater does it right. So support your small town theaters, people. Even if you don't have the Williamston Theater, go see something because it's always good.
There's theaters everywhere.
Yeah,
You just
I
gotta
mean,
look for them.
even around here, there's like 4 or 5 I've never been to. Like I think I've been to Riverwalk once, and then there's like like I said, 3 or 4 or 5 other ones that I see ads for in the programs, and I'm just like, hey, I know these musicals. I'm totally gonna go see those. And then there are ones for ones in Flint or Detroit or Grand Rapids or
Well, and
places like
MSU's
that.
got
You
one.
know
They always
those.
do.
That's true.
Yeah, there's definitely tons of them. It's something I'd like to get more into, but I mean, maybe those little ones is the token because, of course, we
Hmm.
try to go see a couple bigger shows, a year, but they end up being $125 a pop,
Yeah.
and that can add up real quick. So it kind of takes the wind out of the sails when you're like, yeah, let's go do more than one and maybe two a year. You're like, well, we've just spent $700 on seeing some shows. We probably shouldn't do that.
Well, I mean, you're gonna spend it on busted car windows anyway, so just
Yeah, that's
just
true.
spend money on fun things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what people always say anyway. And that's how I view it. Like, I mean, there's
Just
some
enjoy
shows
it.
that come around again every year, but then there's other stuff. I've only seen like Oklahoma on stage once, I think. Certain other things, and if you don't go out and do it, then you'll just never do it.
No,
So
exactly.
you're spending money on an experience to go see a thing, and I take keep my program, keep the ticket, do the little picture of the program when I'm sitting in my seat. So you got memories, it's good stuff.
I agree with that. It is good stuff.
And hey, speaking of good stuff,
I was
what
gonna
did
say.
I do? No.
Okay,
I'm not
come
done
on.
yet. You shut up.
Good. I was like, oh man, I only did 2 shows. What the heck?
Well, I mean, I've only done 2 shows, but speaking of good stuff, what have I done all the rest of the week? Played Yakuza Kiwami.
No, he
2.
hasn't.
The best. There's just so much fun. Every time I boot it up, I'm just like, I'm having a crappy day. Bloop. I'm just beating up goons. I'm playing the Cabaret Club minigame. I'm playing the Majima Construction minigame. I'm singing the Majima Construction anthem. I'm just doing anything. I got the Yakuza Kiwami 2 Fun Pack 4 just the other day. It had Ono Michiko, the hostess, with the Ono Michio head. She does hostess. She does the Cabaret Club with her Ono Michio head. And I got a golden suit for Kiryu. So I'm walking around like the Nouveau Reach guys, but even more stylish. This golden suit, just like I'm the king of Kamurocho and Sotenbori. Oh my God. Every day is a blast. I don't know if I mentioned it before or if I beat it afterwards, but I beat the story mode and we had the best stream of just a blue screen and me going, oh my God, it's the guy. He's shooting him. Oh, dude, shirtless fight in the snow. Oh, cool. Oh, round 2, now he's got a sword. Oh, dude, great. But then I've also been going back through and beating the Cabaret Club minigame storyline. Been putting a bunch of stuff up on YouTube from that. And the Majima Construction stuff, I've been saving all the storyline videos from that. So when they're all done, I can slam them together, put them up. Lots of fun. Just every day is amazing when you're playing Yakuza. And in only, 5 days... Fist of the North Star comes out, so that'll be even more in an even more ridiculous, over-the-top environment. It's a good time to be Matt. What can I say?
That is a good time. God bless. Oh man. So I can't do that cool segue I was thinking about doing. I just realized because we're live on the 5s, so I can't do it. I'll have to save it for you guys in a private showing later on. Sorry, boys and girls.
I'm terrified now.
Look at that! I gotta go.
Exactly. I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, we're actually live. I can't take back anything I say right now. So I had a good one.
That's what I was thinking earlier for something else. I was like, hey, anybody who's watching us live, here's a little tidbit. And Danny cut this from the podcast version, but people can go back and watch the video on demand of this. So
exactly.
Oh, everyone's gonna hear it. So crap.
That's all right. But
the only other thing I've done is I went back and watched, like, I told you I'd watched like 1/3 of the Hell in the Cell pay-per-view. Now I've seen 2/3 of it. So,
oh boy.
Yeah.
We're moving along.
So I'll say the tag match between Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Fantastic. Like, I'm not a big fan of Ziggler or Rollins or Ambrose. For some reason, they just don't do a lot for me. But when they get together, any combination of those guys, they're just awesome. Just fantastic. Drew McIntyre, I am a big fan of. He's a huge dude, looks like a star, and moves and wrestles like a star. He's gonna be a world champion. It's got to be soon. But he's awesome. Those other 3 guys combined to make just an awesome tag match. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe was an awesomely wrestled match, I will say. What was that? What I saw a hand gesture.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
I'm waving to a wild wife running around down here.
Oh my God, this is too much. Because I was looking at myself so I can watch my hand gestures that I'm doing, and then I saw out of the corner of my eye. So
Love you, dear.
Come tell her to be on the show. Come say hi.
Matt wants you to come be on the show. We're live in front of all the audience.
Yeah, tell her, hey, she's join in.
She says, heck no, I ain't coming on. Sure?
Come on.
Love you. She says she's a hot mess. Ain't coming on. So.
Has she seen us? Has she seen you? Come on.
Well, I know, but she literally just came from our tap dancing class, so she's probably sweaty.
Say?
Tap dancing.
I heard a tip dented glass. I'm like putting glass. Like she put like a sticky sheet and then she's piecing the glass together in your window again.
There it is. They can stain glass or something crazy.
Camp
right?
dancing.
Yeah. Tamp dancing.
So I still haven't seen the Ronda Rousey match or the now infamous Hell in the Cell at the very end with the surprise return of Brock Lesnar. Ooh, spoiler alert! But it was already like 3 weeks ago. But so far, I enjoyed the show. Like I said, I had sort of enjoyed the first third, so 2/3 in, I'm enjoying the show. It's pretty fun. So maybe when I finally see that final third, I'll report back. So this is a very timely to the mat segment. Excellent.
Beautiful.
Good job, me.
Good job, you indeed. And you know what? Did they give us any keys? Because I didn't see this week.
We don't do that part yet.
Yo, man.
What's coming up next Tuesday? Come on, dude.
That's right. I don't remember that we do that. Why, after this many years, do I not remember that segment?
Because I'm the one who always does it.
You do that one, and then you do the
I'm
keys.
looking forward to IG2G.
Oh, goodness.
So what do we do on Tuesday this week?
Man,
we did
what
a whole lot of nothing. Oh, yeah. We did record a What You Playing Third Shift and a Shifter Monthly topic for those of you who are on our lovely Patreon. If you want to know more about that, tune in later in the episode, or you already know. Come on. If you're listening to this, you know about it already. But coming up next week on Tuesday, we got IG2G episode 38. Oh, man. I bet you can't wait for that one, Eric.
Indeed, I cannot wait for that one, man. Oh my gosh, it's going to be super exciting. All sorts of wonderful games are coming out, and we're going to talk all about them. So, of course, tune in for that if you are so interested, and we hope you do, because we love you all.
That's right.
And speaking of that, where's them damn keys at now, Matt? Huh? I want my keys. Let's get to the keys.
we got shift codes for golden keys in Borderlands.
Oh, yes.
Just hit up the Twitter, the Red Forum, Instagram. Write the golden keys, like engrave them on a rock and throw them through some poor bastard's window as you're driving by in your red Ford F7000 truck, HD with the huge diesel wheels jacked up.
Just throw them in the tires. Right through windows.
What you can also do is engrave the keys on like a tree. So when somebody falls and it just scrapes, and they'll hit on the branch and it'll embed the keys into their body.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be like, "Oh, gotta check this out. What's that? HPZH? Oh,
that's a shift code, dude.
Yeah, go.
Oh my God, it was totally worth it. Yes. Let's go open the loot box.
That's how you do it. Get yourself some free loot.
Get that free loot. You got to get the free loot, because guess what? Borderlands 3 is coming out next week. Better be ready. Yeah.
Interesting if true.
I'm making that up. There's no
Wake up, Eric. Wake up. You're dreaming again. It's a waking daydream. Your PTSD flashed in because I talked about throwing a rock through a window and you went, "Ah!"
All right, guys. I'm back. Here we are. Woo. All right, here we go.
Hey, speaking of being back, you know what? Dang it. And speaking of being back, you know what else is back? That's for the podcast.
Speaking of PTSD and things that never go away, what is back? The Battleborn free rotation. That's what's back.
This is Rotation J. I never told you what Rotation J was before because we skipped it because we had Joe King on or some other kind of interview thing. So, hey, what do you think about Rotation J, dude? I'm not even going to tell anybody what it is. This is the part where I was going to have Danny cut a thing out, and I can't even say it. So there you go.
Well, what am I going to say? What have I always said when this rotation comes around? The fat chicken, everybody. Just go play the fat chicken. Have a good time. And you know what? Before I say my next piece, what about you, Danny?
Be Pendles. That's what I say every time. There's only a few characters I play. So.
It's very true.
I don't like the rest of them.
Matt, you got a piece before I say my piece? Or?
Oh, I got a piece. I got more than a piece. I got the Geek of the Week.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man. Geek of the Week this week is Miko because Miko is fucking boring. Yes, I said that. You're going to have to drop a beep in there. We better be marked mature because I just said the F word. Holy moly. If you want to just stand behind your buddy and just go like this. And sometimes he'll still get jumped and die.
You got the mushroom. You got to throw the mushroom down too once in a while.
Well, that's if you get up to that level. I mean, I don't even know. Hey, half the games we play, I mean, do we ever even get our ultimates? We just die. We just die forever.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a boring ass mushroom that's ugly and has a weird voice, there you go. You could be Miko. Or you can be like a cool healer, like Reyna, and be like badass with a gun and a plasma thing and shoot like a shield out. Yeah. Or you can be Alani with a cool like Riptide that you can heal people with. Or you can be literally anyone else but stupid Miko. Geek of the Week, Miko, you suck.
Dang. So now we've all said our piece. I will just say, hey, everybody out there listening, please just open this up. Let Battleborn characters be free. Let them free. Just loose them upon the world so everybody can play every character all the time. let's not go to the hubbub anymore. Just let everybody have it and have a great time and enjoy each other's company in the Battleborn universe, because I think everyone who should have a chance to play this game and play it with any character that they desire, because that's what makes this game. Well, that's what makes this game. That's what makes this game. That's what makes the game so great. That's what makes this game so great, is that all these characters are so unique and fun, and there's one for everybody.
I think you did a great job of encapsulating what I was going to say and have Danny cut, but without me having to say it and get it cut. So thank you.
You're welcome, man.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Do my best once in a while.
Oh, hey, but that's not all for Battleborn this week. Did you know? Did you catch it? I retweeted it. Our buddy Mental Mars threw up an article.
Annabelle.
Saying, who is Annabelle? Talking about a character that was in development. It was a young girl who rode a mech, or like
a four-legged mech.
A quadruped robot, yes, named Iron Fist. And he went into super details, like, he had talked with Jithri about it, obviously, the problems they had implementing the mech, not her specifically, and that he went super deep dive into old dude Matthias Tapia. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but his concept arts that he had revealed and put up on his his little thing. He dug in and found her, then talked to him about her and her whole attitude and the style of her. Really cool article. That was really awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was also interesting how they were having a huge problem with Isaac as well, but they managed to make him work, whereas Annabelle it wasn't happening. And then I guess there was a few other characters too. I remember him mentioning that were four-legged and had issues, and so those were also thrown out to the cutting room floor once they couldn't figure out how to make it work right.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because if you see that little tiny screenshot that he blew up of her, like she was like this small in the back of this mech that was like that long. And he was saying, if you're trying to convey to a player in a first-person game that you're too big to go through something, there's like no way to do that, especially the way he was shaped. I think Isaac, they worked it out a little bit better because he's got that swoop down.
He's slant.
But he's not that big. Like, your view would have been here of this robot that went up to here. Like, ridiculous.
Well, plus where they placed him, like with the movement and the way his head was, when you're Isaac, you can see your bulk.
Yeah.
And plus, since he's not Quadra, it's cut off right there. So you can see that you're a little bit taller and you're jacked up like that, but you're not. There's nothing hanging in the back, so you're able to perceive in your head what you could do. Whereas, like you said, when you're this tiny little child's head poking out of the front of this ginormous machine behind you, you've got nothing to relate to. You're just, okay, let's run. What? Oh, I can't move. I can't strafe. What is happening? Why am I clipping on everything?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this, Danny, but like picture like the alien xenomorph head, like how there's like the working bit at the front and then it just goes way back. That's kind of what this robot reminded me of. Like, here she is in her little cockpit and then just bulk and like another big offshoot bulk, like enormous thing. It was crazy.
It's pretty cool. Definitely, if you haven't seen it, check out Mental Mars's article because it's fun. Yeah,
definite props to him. It was, at this point, I honestly didn't think there'd be anything new about Battleborn to Unearth, really. And so seeing this, that, he found this, took this little bit from something he talked with Randy Varnell about, ages ago, then dug through this dude's, custom art, his freaking concept art, and pieced it all together. Really good job by Mental Mars. Really cool.
Let me just state for the record here for a second. There's way more to unearth in Battleborn, all right? If we would just kidnap one or two of the story developers, bring them to my dungeon, utilize some of my wonderful tools off to the left over there, we could find out what happens to all the wonderful characters in Battleborn. Oh, what? Oh, jeez.
This is what the interviews were leading to, and now you've ruined it. Because now everyone will
They're
go
not
and watch
coming
this.
back. Yeah,
they're going to say, hey, what's Third Shift doing on Twitch today? Oh, man, look, what's this live on the 5? So they're going to murder us?
You're psychopath. He wants to drag us away to get information on what happened in Battleborn. It's their fault. They left a pretty fun, great story sitting there and never finished it. Now I have to sit there constantly wondering all the time what the hell happened next.
I saw you today. You were at your desk going, God, what could it be? And I was like, dude, watch some Destiny streams or something. You went, okay.
I did. I turned it to the Destiny streams, and then I went, And then I sat there like that for like 2.5
There's the
hours.
stream going and your phone up.
And my phone up and Persona 4 up, mind you. So I had the phone going to get the quiz answers I needed with Persona 4, playing that, doing the quizzes, and watching the Destiny 2 stream, seeing what they were doing inside the dungeon. So I was just like triple tap, man. I'm just...
You're just a perfect millennial.
I was wired in. Yeah.
Every single screen is on. Let me activate the other console over there.
Put on CNN or Fox News or something over here, so I can
there you go.
up. Watch that whole court case thing that's going
Just
on or whatever.
Soft focus, just absorbing.
There you go. Exactly. Oh yeah, you're right, Matt. I failed. I should have had one more screen going.
Mm-hmm.
Dang it. Next time.
So what else in the general news? We'll get into the night thing. I think we'll do that last. Any other general news type stuff like?
Oh well, Earthfall had a little something. I don't know if you guys caught this, but Earthfall's militia update is out as we speak. It's a small update. They basically threw in a grenade launcher that has a primary attack, which functions just like you'd imagine a grenade launcher functions.
What is that?
Well, you shoot, boom, and a shell flies out, and then it arcs, and then boom, explodes.
Like a seashell?
Yeah, like a seashell full of crabs.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
It explodes.
Wow.
The crabs
Okay.
come out. They're on your forehead. They're on your body parts. It's bad news, man.
Oof, damn.
Yeah.
Those aliens don't know what they're in for.
No, exactly. It's a bad day. And then it has like a secondary alt fire function. And the way they described it, I'm assuming you can you put the shell into the middle of a group, and then it has like a time delay explosion. So I'm not sure if that's something you can just drop from you. Like if they're surrounding you, you drop it and get out, and then it explodes, or if you can lob it and then it has a timed explosion. It wasn't really very descriptive, so I'm not sure which it is, to be honest. And then they said, hey, you know what else? What would people actually find when they're trying to survive? They'd go to hunting stores, hunting goods stores, things like that. So let's introduce a whole bunch of hunting gear and orange vest jackets and then goofy stuff like that, and the hunting knitting hats, and then also they made a hunting camo set for all the different guns that exist already in the game. So that was basically it in a nutshell. Just a small update, but they said this allows them to really focus on Invasion, which is going to be the big kahunas where they got all the goodies coming. So a little extra fun for you right now. If you're rocking and rolling in Earthfall, there you go. Go pick up your new skins and fun little items. And, of course, the grenade launcher for a whole new dynamic experience in Earthfall.
That sounds pretty fantastic. And that's free DLC, right? Because all their DLC was going to be free.
All free. Exactly. You ain't paying a dime. Mm-hmm.
No reason not to get yourself a grenade launcher.
Exactly. That's their whole point. That's why they want you there. Keep playing. Keep enjoying it. Keep coming back because they're reiterating and having a good time. Whatever, man.
Absolutely. And hey, speaking of reiterating and having an even better time than you're already having, Compulsion Games released patch 1.4 for We Happy Few. Every single bug you could ever dream of, they tried to do. Every single quest line. I went through the quests and I was like, man, maybe there will be one. The egg doesn't spawn. It's 18,000 quests.
Mm-hmm.
All the crashes and the bugs. Obviously, there may or may not still be more to do. So if you find more bugs after you've installed the patch, make sure you hit them up via the technical support. But huge giant list of bug fixes, crash fixes. Go through it if you want. Otherwise, just download it and have an awesome time.
Well, that's exactly what they were stating, actually. There was people coming on saying, hey, appreciate what you've done, but there's still this bug or that bug going on. I'm still angry. And they quite literally said, hey, we're not done yet. This is the first round. Look forward to a whole bunch more fixes and patches in the future. Also, if you are having trouble, please let us know what it is, because if you don't, we can never fix it because we have no idea what your problem is.
Mm-hmm.
And as Matt said, it's flipping huge.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, okay. I literally went in thinking I'm going to read every one of these and figure this out, because I watched all the playthroughs, and so I'm like, I know what the quests were and what they did and everything else, but I went, no, never mind. There's all sorts of random tiny little things, weird things. It's a lot. You got to give them props for that. They definitely went ahead and took a big stab at getting rid of a lot of the bugs and issues.
Cool beans, man.
Indeed. Are we ready for the boobies yet? We ready for them boobies?
You know what? You spoiled it already, so let's cut to the boobies.
I thought it was a great way to segue, man. Because now everybody's excited,
You guys ready for boobies?
Yeah, you ready for...
Go for it, Danny.
So, oh my god!
Come on. Boo.
So,
We
with that
will
being
promise
said and done,
boobies. We want boobies. We, okay, all right.
Fortnite Season 6 has arrived, and with it, an infamous evil booby physics problem. Oh my god, no!
Oh no!
So apparently, when adjusting systems, doing all sorts of wonderful things for the new season, the physics on the female's breasts was adjusted, and now when they jump and run and do crazy things, they bounce slightly. And I didn't see an issue with this, but the internet did, because the internet has issues with everything. And they had an issue, and they said this is making women sexualized in video games. It's bad. We don't want it. We just want them to go back to being static, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And Fortnite came out and said, you know what? We have heard you. We didn't even intend to do this in the first place. It just happened amongst other things we were fixing and changing. Our apologies. We're right on it. They're fixing it probably as we speak. Who knows? So it's not even going to be an issue soon. But if you want to catch the big booby issue, you can go on YouTube and check it out, because, oh my God, all day long, that's all I heard. It was a fantastic day.
Awesome. Now, Danny, as a boob user yourself, what do you think of static boobs, maybe slightly jiggly boobs, and then static boobs again? Do you embrace
boobs?
this boob backlash, or are you backlashing against the boob backlash?
I don't even know what that question is.
Well,
I prefer
What do you
static
think about
boobs.
Please tell me all about boobs.
I like boobs. I like my
Excellent.
boobs.
there you go.
Yeah, I prefer static boobs because then your back doesn't hurt like hell.
Makes sense.
Just saying.
That's the blurb for this week's episode. I like boobs, Danny.
Yeah. There it is. That's what we go with. That's how
And
we
the
roll.
title of the episode is now I like boobs. There it is. We got it.
Yo,
We
got
did
it.
you said it.
And we're going to get all the views because
Hell
boobs.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you see I like boobs on a podcast, you're not going to download that? Hell yeah, you are. That's right.
We just did it.
I mean, you can't say we
Cheated
don't
our way
talk
into a
about
couple
boobs.
extra views.
We don't. Hey, you can't say we didn't have a girl on talking about boobs and her own boobs actually. So that's a threefer. Boom.
Sure.
That's true. We covered all the bases. Man, we just sexualized Danny. Therefore, she's going to file a lawsuit against us.
Pretty much.
And
That's
we'll
true.
be in court in a week.
We pressured her into it. So I mean, I don't know.
Thank you, Matt. I can't wait to see the court summons in the mail next week. I look forward to it.
We're gonna get banned from Twitch talking about breasts. Oh God. Well,
But they did do a lot of other things too, Matt. You know, we're gonna just jump right off of there.
this episode is dead on the fives. After this, we're gone.
It's over. Oh gosh. So as I mentioned, season 6 has begun. The patch came through, all sorts of new landscapes, things to do, things to see in Fortnite. And of course, all the Halloween stuff's coming into play. There's a bunch going on. Anybody particularly excited about any of these wonderful little things?
Well, I will say one thing that did kind of pique my interest. They've disabled it for now, I believe, because they're having so many issues with it. I really like the idea of the shadow stones, that when you take it, you go into shadow form. You're invisible when you're standing still, but you're noticeable when you're like creeping and walking around. But you can also get like a shadow dash that like gets you out of dodge real quick. I say it all the time when they do anything that's different from the norm. Anything that changes up the gameplay or the strategy or anything of a battle royale game, I'm totally into. So if I can take this thing and become like a ghost and either just hide out and haunt the little barn that we're sitting in, or just shadow dash all around and get out of trouble, that's really cool. I like it.
I was particularly fond, of course, of the new landscape. All right. There's a bunch of tiny secrets, but of course the big main ones had me really going, oh yeah. And it reminds me of last year a little bit. They got the castle. That's kind of reminiscent of like Castlevania going on there. They got the floating island. They've got the haunted woods. And then there's a ton of like small things that they tell you to get in there and take a peek at and find. And if you want to like cheat, you can just already go to YouTube and basically they'll show you every little thing that's changed or been done differently. Crops, a little crop area now, you can go investigate and check out. It's all that. Every time they rebuild the map and redo it is pretty cool, and what a great idea. Instead of just creating all new maps, just keep taking the ones you have and breaking it apart and redefining it and changing areas.
Mm-hmm.
Easier to work with something you have than just to keep building something new, and then it gets cluttered with all these different maps. Instead, they just change it. Then it becomes like part of lore, when you go, oh, you remember when this was still there, and da da da, and you're like, yeah, ah, ha ha, and oh, you noob, you don't even know. Ho 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 ho. It's good stuff. What about you, Danny? Anything strike your fancy?
Nope.
That's a lie.
I know. I set you up.
I like it anytime they do Halloween stuff, so that's pretty cool.
Now, see, I was gonna say that's a lie because you like the pets, but there's no cat yet, so you can't be interested in the pet
True.
backpacks.
Oh,
Very
so you
true.
instantly don't care. I set you up, and you didn't even bite it because there's not a cat. So you said, I don't care about your stupid thing.
I will say I think it's pretty cool. I mean, anything to change it up, it's just a cute, fun little thing. You get a little dog, or I think there's one's a dragon and then
a chameleon. Mm-hmm.
I like the way, I haven't seen it in action yet, but the screenshots I saw of it, like the different reactions that they have when you're doing stuff, like when you're skydiving and the dog's like hanging in the pack, or if you're aiming down sight and your animal companion is like scowling over your shoulder, like into it and looking at it, and just like, just looking, having fun, having more character, more silliness, more anything. They said, like the dog will like yip and yap and bark at stuff, but only you or friendly teammates can hear it. It's just something to liven up your gameplay experience. I thought it was cute. I thought it was fun. Obviously, I'm not a Battle Royale guy, so I will never get up to the level where I will ever have a pet. But if I was, then I'd be like, this is cool. I'll have a little dog rolling with me, or a little dragon, or a little chameleon. To watch me get like 50th place, maybe, if I'm lucky.
Oh, you suck a face. I'll say this, though. I mean, anything that makes your character more unique, cool beans, right?
Yep.
Cool flipping beans. And I'll tell you what else is more unique? Is the new freaking Riot Husky that they introduced to the Save the World. Oh, yeah. I've been waiting for this. I was hoping they were going to start really focusing in on Save the World and start to bring a whole bunch of new stuff in. Mm-hmm. And one little piece that already is in is, of course, the Riot Husky. He's got a big old shield, comes at you. You got to get around him. A lot of other games have taken something like this, similar to this, and so it was a natural segue in, and it makes sense, and I like it.
A lot of other games do it, like Danganronpa, another episode, Ultra Despair Girls. There's a Riot Monokuma. He's got a freaking Riot shield and a helmet. So that's perfect. But I do like the Riot Husky because it's not just a shield. He's just like ripped a door off of a refrigerator. Refrigerator, don't just say refrigerator, doofus. Anyway, but I was like, that's a little bit of extra character to something that could just be like, just put a shield on him and somehow he knows how to use a shield. No, it's this big dumb thing that ripped the door off and went, I'm holding this door. You're gonna hold the door.
Hold the door, 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 hold the door. Sorry.
But one other cool thing for Save the World.
PTSD.
Like Tourette's.
One other cool thing filed under the Save the World mode thing that I thought was kind of neat is if you do enable multi-factor authentication on your account, because I don't know about you guys, but every other week I'll get an email about multiple login attempts on your account, which you don't have any V-Bucks in, so who even cares? But anyway, if you do enable that, they'll give you 50 armory slots, 10 backpack slots, and 1 legendary troll stash llama. So if you're playing already, you might as well just do it and then get free stuff. Mm-hmm. Backpack slots are the bee's knees anyway. But armory slots, same thing. And a loot llama. Boom. There you go. Just for free. Just for going.
Well, you get the loot llama to fill up the empty slots you just got from getting the more backpack space. It's beautiful.
And you keep your account secure. So it's perfect.
Mm-hmm. A symbiotic relationship for both you and the game. Wonderful. Mm-hmm. And I was talking about how in Save the World that they're going to be changing something, right? And I said it'd be great if they did more for the Save the World portion. Oh, and guess what they are? They said, hey, in celebration of us having some big news for Save the World, they went ahead and introduced the Cram Session, which goes ahead and does a new mini event, all bonus XP, all sorts of cool stuff going on. So make sure if you do own Fortnite, you actually bought it, get in there and Save the World, get introduced to this Cram Session, get your characters leveled up, because apparently some big news is on the way for the Save the World, which is exciting.
That is pretty exciting. I mean, I said it earlier. I'm not the Battle Royale guy. Give me some Save the World content. Maybe I'll be in there some more, rocking it out.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm telling you. And that's not all the news either. You know what? Mm-hmm. A huge announcement for Fortnite, Danny. What happened? Do you know?
I do.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even write this down.
Sony went ahead and said, hey, why don't we get on this crossplay? And yeah, so now everyone can play Fortnite with each other no matter what console you're on.
That's pretty cool.
They haven't said whether they're gonna be extending this to more games yet, but I'm sure they will eventually. But they're starting with
they will.
Yeah, they're starting with Fortnite.
Yeah, right now it's in the beta testing phases, all that good stuff, working out the kinks, et cetera, et cetera. Basically, all they're doing is showing the people who give PlayStation all the money that, hey, look, when it happens, nothing happens. It's okay. It's not going to affect us, really. It's not going to hurt us. And then they're going to throw it in. And like you said, they haven't announced whether this is going to extend to like Destiny 2, Division 2, any of these other big games.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe not all of them, maybe not all the AAAs, but it will eventually extend to everybody. Because there's no excuse anymore. The excuse before this was that we don't want to pollute our community with Xbox or Nintendo's community because they're garbage. Our community is the only real deal of nice people who play good together.
That's right. They are, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Oh, yeah. I met all kinds of nice people on PlayStation.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And anybody who plays an Xbox One, what a jackass. Just instant. I don't even
and then
like
these
them.
kids
Anybody
on
I've ever known who's played with an Xbox One is sucked. I mean, especially people like, I'm not going to name any names, but you know who you
are. That's some shade being thrown out.
You know who you are.
Whoa.
All right, fair enough.
This got pretty intense in here.
I'm just going to say this: the excuse is over. PlayStation will be playing nice with everybody here shortly. And what a nice barrier to be gone.
Why the hell did it take so long is what I'm wondering.
I don't know. I really don't. Because I play the system not because of the community. I don't care at all about the community, to be quite blunt. I care about the menus. I care about the games coming to the system. You know, I don't care at all about the community and who I'm playing with. I usually play with my friends. And now that it's opening up, fantastic. I'm still going to keep buying my PlayStation because I appreciate the crazy unique titles that come to only the PlayStation. Whereas the Xbox typically has more of the Western titles and the sports games and all that kind of community, and that's not the community I'm usually part of or the games I'm interested in. Just makes sense. But now, if there's a game, sorry, Matt, I was just saying, now there's a game like Destiny 2, I can play it with anybody and anybody on any of the systems, which is great.
I think the only way to look at it from a business perspective is, you know, if I go online right now and I do have cross-platform play, and someone is being like a racist monster, trolling, harassing douchebag, and I'm like, dude, PlayStation, do something about this. Oh, he's on Xbox. We can't really do anything. We can maybe like push your report to them, but maybe they'll read it and maybe they won't. That's the only kind of thing where, you know, they always talk about, well, we're trying to make a better community. Well, I don't know about making a better community, like saying that these guys are trash or those guys are garbage, but it's like, if it's coming from like a Nintendo Switch player and I'm on PlayStation, I can't really do anything to report them to correct that action unless I also have a Nintendo account and go on to it. Hey, when I was on my PlayStation account, this guy called me this, that, and the other thing. So that part I can see. I don't see it being a problem because there are trash people on every single account, but I see why they wouldn't want to do that, because you could open yourself up to all kinds of really bad stuff, especially in this day and age with all the kinds of people you got to watch out for. I don't want to try and sound like rude or anything, but you know what I'm saying. You can say some really heinous stuff to some people who you can't say that stuff to, and if there's not a way to get, you know, effectively reported and removed from the system or have your actions punished, that can be a big problem, especially for a company. Like I could sue PlayStation right now because they allowed me to play with a Nintendo Switch player who called me a this, that, the other thing, and there were no repercussions for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but there's an easy fix. Some companies do it already. Bungie, I'm sure, could incorporate this quickly if they don't already. I don't report people, so I don't really know. Blizzard is the only one I'm super familiar with because I've been on there for 15 plus years. They've got their own internal reporting system. And this is what will have to happen if all three systems start playing nice. Those large games that interact with one another via online are going to have their own reporting mechanisms in place. So that way, no matter what system you're on, you don't report to PlayStation, you report to Bungie, you report to Activision, you
Right.
report to Blizzard, and then they go and investigate and ban the players depending on their actions, etc., whatever they've done. Which is great for the systems in general, because now PlayStation doesn't really have to worry about it.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, now they're like, oh well, you guys wanted us to play fair with everybody else. We did. You guys build the systems. You guys have the people there to manage the community, and of course, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, they still have their own, but it's more of a back seat. They kind of go, hey, are they handling this issue? Why aren't you handling this issue? You wanted us to be able to play nice. You know, if you don't handle this, we're gonna do something or whatever. Blah blah blah.
Or is it directly through our interface? Like, you know, if I get a PlayStation message, that would still go to PlayStation.
Exactly.
But if it's in the client for the game, then it would go to the game maker. That makes sense. Because the only reporting I've ever done is on my PlayStation communities. People will occasionally pop in and put, like, you know, a porn message or a phishing message. You report that, and it's gone the next day. So I would say PlayStation already does a pretty good job. So hopefully that just continues on into this multi-platform crossplay world.
I agree. Fantastic. So we got one last subject tonight, everybody. And this one's from Joe King himself, the man, the myth, the legend. And as we do, I didn't respond to him on Twitter because, you know what? We don't respond to anybody on Twitter.
That's
we
right.
bring it
We
to the
retweet
podcast.
stuff and we never say a word.
If it's interesting enough, we'll bring it here. And if you like us enough, you're going to hear it because you listen to us. If you don't, then we're talking to the wind, and it doesn't matter, and it's fantastic. What am I talking about? Joe King went ahead and said, hey, guys, guess what? I'm working on my first panel. The subject will be best practices and advice for content creators looking to work with devs and publishers. For you content creators, what are some things that you think this panel should make sure to cover? Any burning questions? Retweets appreciated. So as we do, I thought we'd just toss around real quick here. Are there any burning questions or anything we would like to know from devs, publishers on where we should be, what we should be doing, etc., for Joe, for his panel that he hopefully wants to put together for the next PAX, is what I believe he said?
I think that's what he said, but I'd have to go back and read it. But it was definitely, the other thing he said is this would just be a personal individual panel, not affiliated with Gearbox.
Not for Gearbox.
Anybody else, just anything.
So Danny, is there anything, any burning questions from you?
Not that I can think of.
Nothing
I think he pretty much answered what we wanted to know. But yeah, I can't think
Did
of
he?
anything specifically. Kind of.
You mean when he was on the show?
Yeah, when he was on the show with us.
Okay. Because when you were just talking about it, the only thing I can think of that I would want to know is, because I don't think he really addressed this part of it, because we didn't like push him on it, because that's not what we do. We're nice to the people we interview. The one thing I would want to know is what level does one have to be to, I shouldn't say to expect interactions or feedback or things like that. But I mean, obviously, we're a podcast with a certain number of listeners. You know, if you're on Twitch, do you have to have a certain level of Twitch affiliate or partner, or that before you can reasonably approach a dev or, you know, a publisher for things? Because we've asked for some things and we've gotten a couple little things, but all three of us know there's a lot of people out there who get stuff for free, not just from Gearbox, but from any other company. It's like, oh, just send stuff to him. And well, what level do you have to be to ask for things, to expect to get things, and then is there?
And then when you're a full partner, when you're just straight up in the bag.
Yeah, because I mean, you can do a show about the news from a certain company, and I mean, what does that get you? Like, do you have to go out and ask? Should you, like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to be too specific here, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, I that's one of the questions I was thinking about, and I think Jozo's kind of asked the same thing. Is I wonder why devs and publishers do not have a page on their website for content creators stating, "Hey, here's where you are when you're an enthusiast. here's how we look at you as an enthusiast. If you're doing this small time podcast for say or whatever, and you're just having fun, we like you, we appreciate you, we thumbs up you, but that's it. Please don't come at us, asking or trying to do anything crazy. But if you've reached a point to where you have, say, 5,000, 10,000 listeners, or you've started your Twitch and you've got 5, 10,000 or whatever the number is, the magic number, like you said, at what point do you go from an enthusiast to an affiliate to a influencer? There you go. That's the right word. When do you go from an enthusiast to an influencer? And at that point, can we then contact you and say, hey, you know what? We've got this many views, this many listens, this many things. We would love to start getting a little tick for tack, help each other out. How does that all work? How do you broach into that without being rude? How do you broach it, how it's seeming like you want something for nothing, that kind of thing? That's always a very awkward conversation and transition.
And it's awkward from both ends too.
Yeah.
Like we've had Gearbox people on the show and they've been great and awesome and that's cool. But saying, hey, will you come on the show and talk about yourself versus, hey, can we maybe like get some stuff from you guys? That's like, how do I even phrase that? How do I even phrase that conversation? How would you even want to receive that? Like, how can I say it? When do you want to hear it? How do you want to hear it? Like I can shoot it here, but if what you're expecting is here, then anything below that will seem like, oh, what's this jerk doing?
Yeah, and you don't want to seem rude, right? So you never go that far. You're always like, well, I don't want to be pushy. We're probably nothing, no timers. I don't want to be like, oh, I want a thing, or I want to have a cool interview with you on this new game, or or get a little sneak peek at something and be cool. It happens, like we said. You see tons of influencers all over the place getting all this stuff, getting these cool little interviews, getting sneak peeks, getting invited to come check out some stuff. So there is a threshold. There is a level to which that happens. I would just like it to be clear.
I don't think there's an actual number though. I don't think there's an actual set
Well, that's what I mean.
Rule
there
set
should be
to it. I know, because there's some people on there that will get things and they barely have any followers. They're just a really big fan.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some influencers that get nothing even though they have a huge following. So I don't know what there's no set criteria to it.
Yeah.
That I know of.
maybe not like numbers or set criteria, but like, what is the mindset? If you are on the development end, like, again, there's no way to say it without talking about milestones and things. But like Eric said, when do you go from just being a fan to somebody that you'd want to work with? Or want to give things
to promote a game,
to promote or spread the word,
have an interview with, and talk about stuff. Exactly. Where does that happen? When does it happen? Is it more about just you liking that individual's or those individuals' content? Or at what point is that a thing?
Mm-hmm.
How much of a push should one like? I mean, I hate to use this as an example, but we've gotten some props early on. It was we're in the community spotlight, but after a certain point, do we like poke at? Because people know about us. Like, does a content creator keep poking at?
Yeah. Are you supposed to stay aggressive?
Yeah. Like, how is that? How do companies respond to that? Do they like aggressive people? Do they not like aggressive people? Do they like their social media people to find them out? What does what?
So a big overarching question then, I guess, to put it all in a bubble would be, what social interactions should be had between the content creator and the dev publisher to promote a healthy relationship in which you can prosper and or work together in a healthy fashion, where both of you are communicative and progressing and or not, but in a professional, respectful way,
and in a way that would encourage further communication or development. Because if I say, hey, we're really interested in helping you out, and not that this would happen from I'm working with EA, trying to get EA. I'm like, hey, we got this little show we're trying to do, and you just hear, nah, not interested. Well, but like,
what would you be interested in? Yeah,
right, yeah.
Like, oh well, maybe if you get up to this level, then we can talk. Communication like that.
Yeah.
Because then there's goals to be set for those content creators, and it says, okay, I get it. We're here. We're not ready for the big times. We're not ready for the mid leagues. We need to get to this. We need to understand this. They expect this sort of thing, this type of viewership or listenership or whatever it is, and then we can go talk to them and maybe get the next step up.
Or even give examples like, oh, our A tier guy is Bobo and Jojo. You know, our mid tier guy who gets some kind of things is Ralphie Magoo. And, you know, one of our lowest guys who still gets a little bit of something, or, you know, we interact with him in certain ways, is Pedo Magoo. So if you go and check out those two levels of things and see what they're doing, then you can kind of, you know, figure out where you guys sit and, you know, where you can look for, you know, what you can aim for in the future. Even something like that, like a little roadmap. Like here's the top, here's the bottom, here's in between. Where do you want to go so you know what you want to do?
Exactly. And then lastly, one little one that kind of pops in my head too is like, where do different developers and publishers rate podcasts, YouTube videos, Twitch streamers, Mixer? What's the scale for that? What are they rated at of importance? That kind of thing. Because let's be honest, I feel like there really is a different level of care, importance in the difference of YouTube versus Twitch versus podcasting.
Did it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Podcasts, YouTube streamers.
I did.
Well, see, I wouldn't say. I think you'd have to be see. That's again an instance of where you got to be careful with what you're saying. Like a level of care, I get what you mean, but like phrasing it more like a level of value. What do they value? Do they value this higher than that? This higher? Because care, that's another one of those rocky roads. Hey, do you guys even care about X? Well,
no, not really. But
yeah, exactly.
But that's what it is, and that's what it all boils down to. Is if you're listening, Joe, or if anybody over at Gearbox is listening, that whole giant conversation it's an awkward conversation to be having, and it's not one you want to have because you're going to keep creating your content anyway, and you also never want to come off as being rude or like forceful. So it's always
or
like
well, begging
or begging. So you're always like, I don't know what to do. Do you ask for stuff, or do you not, or do you at what level? You know, that's I think a big question. A lot of especially smaller YouTube, Twitchers, podcasts, that kind of thing, on where you break through. The saddest part of it all is especially right now, a lot of individuals who are in the business, the video game business, are now breaking away and making their own channels and doing all the cool video game stuff. And they don't have that issue because they were in the video game industry. So they already have all the connections, all the PR peeps and reps numbers, all the people they've interviewed already through the years at, you know, the different sites or things they worked with. So for them, it's like a great white coming in to the ocean, where before there was just a whole bunch of little, you know, smaller mid-sized fish, and these guys just come in and they eat it up. And it's kind of changed the entire game up because they come in with all the connections and all the things. And then the lower peeps come in and are like, well, hey, can I talk to you, Frank? You know, is that rude to say? Can I talk to you? You know, and you want to know, can you approach them about that? Or is it kind of like, no, buddy, you know, these 5, 6 big entities up here, those are the ones we want to go to for all the real information. You know, don't ask us about that. That's stupid. And then they're annoyed with you for even, bothering them and having to make them politely tell you no.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a strange one, but hey, there it is. You know what? It's a question I would love to have answered, and I wish more developers and publishers would just state plainly what they like, where they want to be with other people in relationship to working with them. I think we covered it.
I was going to go on, but I think we've said it all over there.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get your foot in the door? How do you know if people are interested? There you go. I don't know. We said it already.
We said it what we can.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I want to just keep going on it forever and ever because I like the intricacies of communication. That's kind of like that's something that really interests me, but we said it, so it's done. There.
Exactly.
There. Boom.
So there you go, Joe, or anybody listening that can get it to Joe if he doesn't catch this particular episode. We hope that maybe you do address it in the PAX panel, and maybe we'll even be there if you're at PAX East. Who knows? It'll be a great time.
Could happen. A man can dream.
Happen. Man can dream. Man can dream indeed. And that's about it, isn't it? I think.
That's pretty much about it, except bam, surprise question for Danny.
Oh
It
yeah.
was on our last episode when we talked about the Borderlands 2 anniversary, and we had to answer the question, which character do you most relate to and why? I had my answer. Eric had his answer. What is your answer?
Jesus, drop it on me like that.
Hey, I stretched that question out for like 30 seconds, just like I did to Ding Dong the other day. And he was like, oh, wasn't enough, man. See, look, I'm doing it even more. And I threw in an Eric diss. So now the time has come. It's time to answer the question, Danny. Is there a character with a cat? Because I like cats.
I like cats. I think Gage is the first one that pops in mind.
Deathtrap is kind of like a cat because it will go and kill stuff and bring you back things.
Pretty much. I don't know. I don't know what it is about her. I like her, and that would be me if I was in Borderlands.
So you dabble in crazy science, kill your entire class, blow them all
Lose
to
your
bits,
arm, replace it with
lose
a
your
rope.
arm,
Pretty
replace it with a rope, have your dad smuggle you out of the planet and get you out of there.
Dude, do you remember the one time you went off to use the restroom or whatever, and I was here drunk as a skunk, and your Gage was totally idle, and she went into this long, like 5-minute
Diatribe of-
conversation,
yeah.
and I was like screaming over the mic the whole time. I was like, "Dude, get back here! She just told this fucking awesome story! Oh my god!" It was great.
Oh yeah, I remember that. So you like to tinker with explosives and robots and
I like to
Have 'em kill
tinker with
things.
stuff. So yeah, I think that there's that part of that, and
well, hopefully
I like having a pet that kills stuff for me.
There you
hopefully
go.
your cat has robot legs in the next 6 months or so.
It's possible. She's nuts.
Good.
She's gonna hit you with the stare next time you come over, Eric. Just blow you through the wall.
Yep.
You'll
That's
be the
fine.
bunker. You'll be the bunker. And so, oh, there's Eric. Hey, Amanda, we're gonna have a really awkward conversation. Danny's cat incinerated your husband, and all the
Good
apples
luck
he
with
was
that one.
carrying.
That's right.
Oh, I spoiled it already.
Oh, look at that fork
What
appearance.
is that? Oh,
That's right,
no.
Matt. That's right. I remember you were going to bring it up.
I mean, look, I am wearing a hoodie. It is fall time.
It's officially
Oh, and
fall.
yes, also,
It's
you
official.
just reminded me of the thing.
Yeah.
So not only is it fall time, and I'm ready to snack upon Nerdvana Live all over again. I almost forgot. I almost said third shift, which is not right because we'll
I'm
never
gonna
be
eat-
5-star.
I'm gonna
gonna
eat
eat
my
myself.
own,
He does.
eat my own people. Oh yeah.
But the important thing is there's a new 5-star on the menu. Tell us about it, Eric, so I can laugh again. Tell me
Well,
again so I can laugh
All
and
right,
I can eat
I'll
it.
tell you again. So I listened to several Destiny podcasts, and then one of them was Destiny the show. I've listened to these two gentlemen for years. In fact, I love the way they get about things. It's quick, it's efficient. They have a nice little back and forth. It's just two of them, and away they go. And then this last episode, they pop on, and they're like, hey, man, we've been doing this for a couple years, but we were in our young 20s, when we started this, and now we're in like our mid 20s, and life is hard. And I'm realizing that I gotta work and jobs, and I'm gonna get married, and that's like a lot of work.
See?
So we've got to go ahead and shut down the podcast and end it.
Wow.
And I'm just like, what just happened? What just happened? Oh no, you're in your mid 20s now, and everything's too hard.
Once
Oh,
you hit
man.
25, man, life is over.
I
You
know,
don't do
man.
anything.
God,
God,
Yeah.
early 30s really suck. We should quit.
I have a job, and like
Early?
I'm
I'm over the
I was gonna say,
midpoint now. I'm on the way to the grave.
on my way to 40 now. I'm almost there. Jeez, I'll pay. So
Maybe
yes,
that's why we don't get the love. Those guys are too damn old.
They're
Screw
just
you,
old.
content creators.
old
Is
evil
there an age
decrepit
limit
bastards.
for content creation, Joe King? You not like us because we're 35 and
I'm
older.
bald. I'm angry. They don't like it. They're just like,
Big red no stamp.
yep.
No bald heads.
Unlikable. People hate bald men. There you go. Well, what do you do? Hey, that's not true. Broman's bald, and everybody loves Broman. So
I don't
I
even
got a
know who that
chance.
is, so it's fine.
he's a big Destiny guy. He's also done, all sorts of stuff, Borderlands and things. But anyways, that's not the point. Destiny the show is retiring after this month. It's unfortunate, but they've become another 5-star for us to just add to the band. So I will say, if anybody knows them or listens to the DTS show, please let them know they need to hop on over to Third Shift, throw us a wonderful 5-star rating so that we can feast upon their dead souls.
Yes.
I'd appreciate it.
Hey,
Thank
you know what? Both of them owe us a review because we are 10 years at least older than those suckers, and we're still going.
We're
after
still
2
managing
years.
2 kids, wife, all a job, all that.
Same here. I mean, I got 4 kids.
Yeah, still doing it. It can be done. You young men will be just fine.
Oh my God.
Look at this man. He fell out of a tree.
I fell
He had a
40-year-old falling out of an
at,
apple tree.
and
I'm
he still made it here.
These kids these days, they just gotta try harder. They don't understand what it is to struggle.
Oh man,
There we go. Beautiful.
that was good. So hey, what do you guys think about Destiny the show? Are those 2 guys a bunch of sucker faces? Tell us what you think. Via email info@thirdshift.me. Tweet at us at thirdshift.me and find us on Facebook under Third Shift.
Indeed, you can. You can also find our wonderful Patreon over there in the Patreon universe. We treat it just like a wonderful little tip jar. If you like what you hear, like what we're doing, please consider heading on over there. Give us $1, $5, $10, $1,000. Anything and everything does help us way more than you could ever imagine. The lights only stay on because of wonderful patrons that we already have helping us out. That's actually not true because we would keep going anyway because I'd sell blood if I had to because that's how we got to do it. But thankfully, the patrons don't make me do that because I lose enough blood as it is and accidents and problems.
Well, see, that you donated to a tree. This you would donate to an actual place that needs it and would pay for it.
Well, it was unknowingly and unwillingly donated to the tree, though, man. I didn't intend to give the blood to the tree.
Get yourself a little Dan's got like a tap
Scrape
with
it
a
off.
maple syrup bucket. Yeah, just
Yeah.
maple syrup bucket it.
Back to
Just
the show.
filter
Back
it.
to the show.
put the tap
Mhm.
right in your side, bucket it.
All right. Got it. So, anyways, if you cannot get over there and throw us a tip, we do understand money's real, money's tight. People got to pay them bills. I get it. You can also go ahead and give us those 5-star ratings we were talking about, likes on the Facebooks, the Twitters, all the other places you can go like us and thumbs up us at. Hey, maybe consider going over to Twitch, following us over there, checking us out, watching us, liking us, subscribing, all those good things. Everything and anything helps, and we do very much appreciate it.
That's right. And of course, this podcast drops every Friday. So we'll be back in your ear holes on the 5th of October for our very next episode. It'll be our kind of like mid/post quarter end episode. So we'll be grumpy. We might be sick. We'll be really sad and like not wanting to do anything. It'll be a great, fun episode. I guarantee
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And of course, this podcast, this is the part that I don't always say, oh, I'm screwing up my whole rhythm.
Oh no.
We go live on the 5s. Every 5 episodes, you can catch us on Twitch. Having a great time with Danny, making her really embarrassed and sad to be on the show.
Yep.
That's the whole point of being live on the
Talking
5s.
about my boobs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
great.
Hey, it is what it is. Ambushing her with questions that she just loves.
Yeah, I love it. That's my favorite part.
So catch us live on the 5s on Twitch, and you can catch the regular and you can catch the regular podcast on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podbean. And as I always say, because Eric never says it, if you like what we're doing and we'd like, if you
Blah, 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 blah.
Do you know English?
don't forget to save. So if you like what we're doing and you'd like to help us out, please give us a like, a rating, review, a comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any one of those good services, because it does help us out. We really do appreciate it. And now it's time for Danny to plug her social media and all her projects and what she likes to do and what she's going to do this week. What's your cat look like today? Put the cat cam up. Don't you spin that camera, though, because I swear to God, Martha with this little cup over here, if you do that again.
It's a different camera, so I can't spin it. I'm sorry.
Thank God.
I can manually move it though. You want me to?
No, God, no. No.
You can find me at Usakoi84 on Twitter. I need to get back to Danganronpa and finish it. I want to do actually a marathon stream, a couple marathon streams to get through the rest of the cases.
You got a ways to go. That's all I'm
Yeah,
going
I
to say.
know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But I definitely need to get back on the stream and rip through those because I want to know what happens next. Yeah. Other than that,
yeah.
we have an otaku project coming up soon. I'm
Oh,
waiting
boy.
on the products.
Nice.
Oh, delicious.
Delicious
Yummy,
things.
scrumptious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's it.
And hey, as we ask every guest on the show from now on, hey, it's time for you to record a stinger from us saying, "Hey, my name's Danny, and I
you
love Third
serious?
Shift."
What?
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
Like, my voice is already on IG2G.
No,
Isn't that kind of
no, it's-
biased?
you got to do it. We'll start up the episode and be like, "Hey, I'm Danny, and I love Third Shift. If you want Gearbox news, check out Eric and Matt." And it'll be like, "Boom, shut up and sit down." Do 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 do. We got to start using those. We got to start.
Yeah, I
putting
know.
those in.
Yeah.
Hey. It'd be the perfect time to use one. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing
No,
it. It's
you
so
have to do it.
biased. No,
That
I
was an awkward-
don't.
That was an awkward
Well, so you
pause.
I
don't
know.
love Third Shift, I guess.
No, I don't.
Hello,
Not-
this is
not
Captain
times like
Shepard,
these.
and this is my favorite store on the Citadel. Boom. It's just that easy. I can do it, and I'm not even Captain Shepard. Is it Commander Shepard? Oh, no.
What's third shift process? Miss likes to listen to third shift. Yes. There you go. See?
Oh, we have
Stinger.
Smeagol on the show?
Check it out, it's Third Shift.
All
My
the
two
things.
favorite
Come on.
guys.
Hey,
Eric and
guys,
Matt.
this
And
is
Danny's here
Danny.
sometimes.
I love Third Shift so much.
Hell
Beautiful.
yeah, you did
There we
it.
got it.
You're welcome.
See, we just
Perfect.
had to awkwardly keep going until it happened.
I
That's all
know.
you gotta do.
Just-
I
you just
did,
gotta-
I did it just to shut you guys up.
Mhm.
That's exactly it. You just keep hammering away with annoying shit until Danny just goes, "Fine, you assholes." Here it
Fine.
is.
I give up.
Now, with that though, I think we are at the end, officially, for realsies.
Of our lives.
I guess.
Well, maybe that too. Oh God! All right.
Uh-oh.
So as Matt puts the pointy hat on, we only got one left thing to say. One last thing to say.
What left
What
thing to say?
My human skid's falling off. The lips are coming apart.
Just melting off your face.
Don't forget to sneeze. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
So,
Don't
friends.
forget to save. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.